Welcome to another edition of Farmtown's Misadventures with Charlie Many Layers and JJ. In this episode, we'll be looking at how to do offset layering on your crops using a single tab. Enjoy. We're recording this on the 11th of April, 2023, and you'll notice that the Facebook has this black frame around here. In order to get rid of that, we have two options. We can take and click on this little over here, and if it doesn't show, you slide your farm over, okay, but you still have the frames on the sides. As I need a lot of space so I can see, I usually go wherever I can to full screen, which can be done in either showing the rest of the game room's information or not. Anyway, we're going to be doing multiple layers on this farm, brand new farm, and currently all we have is we have it set so that we automatically reload if we need to reload to this particular farm. And secondly, we have a dirt path here which we'll be using between layers, or we can use a oil pump or any other facility, but we're going to use them alternately. First off, we're going to have to put in our initial layer. And so to do that, we're going to go and pick up our largest tool for plowing, which in this particular case, a 5x5 plow. So we click there, then we click here, and then we click here. Make sure you get it all the way up in that corner. And if we had space to put another row, we could put it just like that, which we did. Okay, well, that's as far as we're going to do, just a single. We could go the entire farm, but you'll get the idea here. Okay, once you've got it plowed, then you need to plant it in order to do this single tab. So we'll go over here and pick up our planter, and we're going to plant purple grapes. One, because they're cheap, and secondly, they go quickly. Okay, now you'll notice that they've gone there, and if we went there and picked up our next plow, as you know, we are not going to be able to do anything. But what we do here is we hide those crops. We could have done this prior, but in this particular case, I chose not to. And you hide them by simply clicking on this top button. While we're here, we also we'll show you that down here we have this particular, which is remove space between farms or fields. We have it set so that the fields are plowed nice and tight to each other. Once we've saved that, you notice each one of these red dots here. They are outlining your 3x3 crop area that is normal. And this is how people wind up with 9X. And what we're going to do next is we're going to plow down one, and then plow down a third one, and then that'll fill that, make that a 3X plowed. If we wanted to go 9X, we would also fill in those other ones. So now we'll go through about and do that, but before we can go do anything again, we need to take and go over here and grab our dirt path and just move it a little bit. You don't have to move it a whole lot. You can move it just one spot if you want, just like that. That's all you need. Also, nice things about dirt paths, you can put them inside underneath your crops and it won't cause a problem. Whereas if you put your oil pump there, you would have a problem. So now we're going to go get our plow again. And we're going to bring it up here. And you want to set it so that it's right where there. Now, some people will say, well, now, I've been doing this with multiple tabs, and I'm actually happy with that. Well, if that's so, so be it. That's the easiest for you, that's fine. This helps you where you can come in and do it with a single set of crops. We're going to go purple grapes. And you notice, because we have them crops hidden, as soon as we get through doing them, they disappear. Okay, now, for those doubters, we're going to take and turn the crops back on for a moment so you can see that now we've got two sets of crops, or rows there. If you roll it down, you can tell that there's a little bit there, and then a big one. That's how a 2X would show. And it doesn't really matter whether you do it up and down or right and left. That's your preferences. It all works the same way. Again, we're going to need to take and move a dirt path, or this time we'll just move the old oil pump here. The problem with the oil pump moving is that the button is down here a little closer, or a little further, not right underneath the top, and it takes a bit for me to see that. But with younger eyes, and that's more visible. Now we go up here and get our 5X plow again. And, okay, you notice, now it's filled in more there. Okay, and we click, and then we come down here and make sure it's up tight. And my little guy wants to stand in the way. Okay. Now, when we plant that, and I'll go ahead and turn it back on so you can see that it does, the other crops will show up. The other areas where we've been planting. Okay. And so we got to go get our planter. Now, one thing I have found is if you somehow or another accidentally put a crop area over an existing crop area, it will heal itself when you reload. Has been for about a year now. Okay, there's 3X. If you were going to go more layers, you just continue doing exactly that. And you can see when we hide our crops, and you don't have to take and hide them and unhide them each time. If you're comfortable knowing that you're doing them in a line, that works fine. That would be the same way as when you're doing multiple tabs. There we would have had 3 tabs, easily obtainable by most computers today. But if you were going to go 9x, that is difficult with many of them because most of our browsers will not handle more than 8 tabs. So now there's their advantages to only have a 3x versus a 9x. If you're running, you're going to be putting other items on top or below it, such as ponds, trees, flowers, facilities. It's best to take and not have quite as many rows or layers, because when you do start layering 9x, putting in wall-to-wall flowers, filling every little square, trees filling every square, you start having problems, and you do have the chance of corrupted data. And if that happens, these lines, some of these will disappear because they're not actually there. And you could lose facilities, you could lose trees, you could lose crops, you could lose flowers, whichever you have there. Anyway, that's how you do a 3x. If you were going to do a 6x, you just put another line of them down, starting right here, and you come right on down. You'd go there, you'd go here, and so forth, and so forth, and so forth. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. Have a great day, and thank you.